Why don't you ask that another way?
Okay. Why don't we move on? I think she already testified that Rex helped her set up in the budget suites. So you moved to Las Vegas. You went into the budget suites. You believe Rex had a home there. Did you ever see his home?
Yeah. We one time when we were out, I guess you could say hanging out, he drove by and like stopped and parked in front of it. And he said, but we can't go inside. And I was like, well, why? He goes, because. I'm like, well, do you live with Ting, or is that your place or her place? Like, don't worry about it.
Okay, so prior to coming to Las Vegas, you knew about Ting at some point?
Yeah.
When was that first time that you ever heard about Ting?
In Texas.
Okay, you said that you moved from Texas because you thought he had a girlfriend. Was that Ting that you were referencing?
Yes.
Okay. So you're living in Vegas. You come to the budget suites. Do you look for a job?
Yes.
When did you start looking for a job?
And as soon as I got here, I was at all the fast food places around the area, and they all required a health card, and I had $0. I had no money to get any cards, and Rex, after a couple weeks, Rex said, I can't support you anymore. You gotta do something. I don't care if you become a dancer. Figure something out.
So when you first came to Vegas, was Rex supporting you financially?
Bare minimum, yes.
Well, who paid for the budget suite?
He did.
Okay, so he was supporting you financially?
Yes.
All right. If you knew you didn't have that support, would you ever even moved to Las Vegas?
No.
And then you say it was sometime later. But how much time had passed before he said he wasn't going to support you anymore?
3 weeks.
Okay. So you found a job, right?
Yes.
You have some understanding you need to work to take care of your kid. Is that it?
Oh yeah. I mean, it was never a day he went hungry. He always had clean diapers, name brand Pampers diapers with, you can see the color change when he goes pee. You know, I had everything for him.
Okay, so you found a job. What was it?
It was dancing at Larry Flint Hustler Club. They gave me a week to get my card, so they let me start working.
Did you ever been a dancer before?
No, it was very nerve-wracking.
Let's tell the judge about your experience of taking this brand new job as a dancer.
Okay, so it was very, very nerve-wracking going in, you know, and I hate to even talk about it because it's just, I was really shy back then, and nonetheless to take off my clothes, but I would do anything to make sure that my son had food in his mouth and a roof over his head. So it was hard at first, but the girls made me feel really comfortable after a while and taught me a lot of things.
Yeah, in other words, you're saying eventually, oh, sorry, she's off camera, your judge. I just want you to know.
Sorry.
I'm moving the camera towards so you see. I think she needed a moment to compose herself. You're trying to say that eventually you became adjusted to the job?
Yes.
Did you like that job?
No.
Did you have much choice?
No.
Did Rex offer to continue to support you after you started that job?
No.
You saw his car at one point in the beginning when you showed up, didn't you?
Yeah.
What was he driving?
Mercedes-Benz.
What year did you think it was?
Very little. If not a year or two old.
Okay. Maybe 1 or 2 years old, maybe brand new Mercedes-Benz. And now you're feed your kid, you're going to go take off your clothes and strip. You've never done that in your life.
Right.
Okay. You say the girls tried to help you. Did you feel like you had to fit in? Like you wanted to fit in? It was your job, or did you?
Yes.
All right.
There was a lot of pressure from all around. The whole environment is pressure.
Was your work primarily at the nighttime?
Yes. I would start at the earliest 10 o'clock at night.
Okay. What did you do with Jaden when you went to work?
He was brought over to the babysitter's house, Brittany, and Brittany lived with her mother and her grandma, so I knew there was 3 people watching my son.
Okay. Well, we already know that somewhere along the line you started using cocaine. Do you recall when that was?
Yeah, I would say August of 2014. I was showing up to work tired, and the girls basically were like, well, this is what we do, you should try this, and, I got influenced very quickly and let my lifestyle flip. I regret it.
Okay. About how what period of time did you use cocaine from into?
From
You said August
2014 to roughly February of 2015.
Okay. Essentially, sounds like, I don't know how many months that is. We do the math. August 2014 to February 2015. So,
6 months.
what was what assisted you in making the decision to stop using cocaine?
NA, Narcotics Anonymous classes?
Okay, so you felt that they were helpful?
Very.
Did you complete the class?
Yes. 26 of them.
Now, by that time, so you said it was 26 of them?
Yes.
Okay. By that time, CPS case had already started. Isn't that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about when the CPS case started. They obviously they took Jaden from you and he was placed somewhere. Who did they place Jaden with initially?
My dad and his wife, Sue.
Okay. Well, you were. Let's bring the judge up to speed where they were, because you were last living with them in Tennessee. So where were they at the time of the placement?
So they moved here shortly after I did, like a couple months after I moved here. They moved here because they didn't want to be far away from Jaden.
Okay. Where did they live?
At an RV park at Arizona Charlie's in a fifth wheel.
Okay. Are you familiar with the fifth wheel? Had you been there?
Yeah, it's actually really spacious.
Okay. Tell the judge a little bit about that layout.
Okay, so I want to say, like, to my best of my recollection, it's like a 38-footer fifth wheel. So it had a front room, which would be a bedroom, a living room with a dining room table, a couch, a TV, about 4 feet in between the TV and the wall. There was good walking distance. My dad had a dog named Dozer, which is a family dog. Jaden grew up around that dog. He loved it. And then the back room, which was totally sealed off, which was my father's, which Jaden didn't have access to that, so it was very big, though.
So it was a bedroom, is that what we just said?
Yeah, it's 2-bedroom.
How many bathrooms did it have?
1.
Okay. Bathroom have a shower?
Yes.
Where it was parked, was there a room outside?
Yes.
What kind of room was outside?
Like a patio area and place to park your car.
Okay. Was it a long-term spot for them?
Yes.
How long did Jaden ultimately stay with them?
He stayed with them about 2 years.
So after those 2 years, I think from prior testimony, you said Jaden left. Oops, I'm getting some feedback from somewhere.
You're okay. Keep going.
Okay. After about 2 years, Jaden left, I think because he was then placed with Rex. Is that accurate?
Yes.
During that 2-year time, what kind of visitation did you have with Jaden?
I would visit him weekly, multiple times a week. Sometimes I spent the night with them.
Okay, so did Mark and Sue had no problems with your visitation?
No.
at that point in time, how did, so Jaden essentially went from 2.5 years old to 4.5 years old? That would be about an accurate estimate, isn't that true?
Yes.
What did Jaden call you?
Mommy.
Okay, how about at the end of the 2 years?
Mommy.
When you showed up, did he show any?
Mom, like M-U-M, Mom.
Was there what was there? What kind of a affection did he show to you?
Oh, I mean, all the affection, like hugs, kisses, happy, laughing. He's so excited every time he showed up.
Okay, so
Right.
I'll give. When Jaden showed up, sorry, I'm going to repeat that. Was it around January of 2017 when Jaden was turned over to Rex?
Yes.
How old was he?
5, 4.5 or 5? 5? I want to say 5.
Okay, so I'm curious, did the CPS show no concern that Rex wasn't anywhere around for the first 2 years of the case?
Just a little bit. They said, well, he's got to have like 2 or 3 visits to bond before we release him to his care.
Was there no allegation from them of some form of abuse and neglect by Rex by just not being available?
No, but they did have an issue with his sex offender charge in Texas.
But nonetheless, they gave the child over to Rex?
Correct.
Okay. You had this case that they initially brought a TPR or charge trying to terminate your rights. And we know the rights were not terminated. So did they ever actually bring the case forward for termination?
No.
We talked about an arrest in 2015, or at least Mr. Hoffman brought that up, and you talked about it. It was the arrest for the alleged domestic violence with the ex-boyfriend, where you talk about a 12-hour hold. You remember that event?
Yes.
Okay, well, when you say there was a 12-hour hold, we don't know what the resolution of that case was. Do you recall the resolution?
It never made it to court. Denied.
Okay, so when you say denied and or dismissed,
Yes.
I'll clarify. Did the district attorney ever pursue a charge against you?
No.
How about the arrest in 2017? Do you recall that one also?
Yes. Yes, counsel.
What was the resolution of that one?
It's the same.
They never brought a charge?
No.
I think that there was some question about why you would be in the park with your son after 8:30 p.m. and that there was an allegation, or at least it was alluded to, that it was a dangerous place, and how could you? Do you recall that portion of your question?
Yes.
Were there other people in the park?
Yes.
As a matter of fact, you said one of them was an off-duty police officer?
Yes.
Who was he with?
His wife.
Okay, did you get any impression that they were in the park because they were there to scope out the park, or they were just enjoying the park?
Just enjoying the park, and there were other kids there too.
There were other kids in the park?
Yes. Other people with strollers.
I see. The cops come to move all them kids out because it was dangerous?
No.
All right, so I asked you about when you were in Tennessee and you came here, about some other drugs. I'd like to ask you, to date, have you ever used any methamphetamine?
No, sir.
Ever used heroin?
No, sir.
Other than that 4 or 5 month period you talked about, any more cocaine use?
No, sir.
All right. When CPS turned the child over to Rex with sole legal custody, I mean, I'm not sure what you understand, but did you understand that basically gave him the rights to make all decisions?
I didn't understand any of that at the time. A public defender was not very informative.
Did anybody ever even tell you that Rex was giving temporary guardianships to Ting?
No.
So did you have any idea that you were even supposed to be, the team was making determinations, or you were just trying to be cooperative because, your son was with her?
Just trying to be cooperative.
Okay. had discussed about having a difficult time getting Rex, and he was calling you like from a block number. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And sometimes I think you said a fake number?
Yes, I have 6 different numbers in my phone saved as his.
When you say a fake number, what are you referencing? Are you just like one of those throwaway phones you can get at Walmart?
Just that, and or they have applications these days that you can download on your phone and use bogus numbers to contact people. And when you call them back, it'll say, "Hi, you reached so-and-so at text-free." So you know that it's a bogus number.
Yeah, and you said that you have a bunch of numbers in your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, okay, I'm going to move on. Tell the judge where you presently live.
At 4400 South Jones Boulevard at the Borgata condominiums.
Okay. We provided a lease as one of our exhibits. Is that accurate?
Correct.
And you referenced this. Judge, Mr. Hoffman, Mr. Tody, I'm going to reference our exhibit labeled K. I'm putting that in front of Kaylee to reference and see if she identified the exhibit.
Yes, I identify it.
You identify it. Well, identify it then to the judge.
Okay.
No, you don't have to hold it. Just tell her. She has it. They have it in front of her.
Okay.
Just.
I can see the lease on exhibit KH0019.
Is this the lease to your present residential where you live?
Yep, this is my brand new place.
I can't remember, Judge. I was going to move to admit it, but I think maybe we have all my exhibits admitted.
That's the last recent one.
Okay.
Recent one.
I have some.
Hold on, let me ask the courtroom clerk to verify which of Mr. Zernich proposed exhibits have already been admitted.
A through J.
Can you say that again, Tanya?
A through J.
A through J have been admitted pursuant to stipulation.
Yes.
Oh.
Here's my lease.
What happened to KLM? Oh, you know what, Your Honor? I think your clerk called me this morning and said that I needed to send him a copy of KL&M. That it had not come through. I have KL&M in my binder.
We were just missing L, I believe, but the other ones were just received and they were not stipulated to on the 8th.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm going to move to admit exhibit number K, or letter K.
Mr. Hoffman, any objection?
No objection.
Mr. Tody, any objection?
No, Judge.
Thank you. K will be admitted.
Okay. Carrie, how long is the lease for?
1 year?
Okay. Do you have any roommates there?
No.
All right. And are you, and I'll tell the judge about the place. How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms?
It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, master bedroom, Jack and Jill style, 1 bedroom's on one side, the other's on the other. It's a little bit of a smaller place. It's about 832 square feet big. Has a nice patio. It's a gated community with 24-hour security. We have 2 pools, a workout center, fitness center, clubhouse, you name it. It's really nice.
Okay. Do we have? We do have some pictures. Judge, I'm going to reference Exhibit B as in boy. Kaylee, can you identify the exhibit in B?
Yes, these are stock photos of the apartment before I moved in.
Okay, so this is the photo in the exhibit on labeled base number 3. There's a bedroom, and it looks like a living room and a bathroom. Do you say this is not your furniture, right?
No.
But this is a stock photo of the place that you rented.
Correct, because I needed to provide these pictures in a timely manner for the courts.
Okay, but you do have some pictures in here of at least Jaden's bedroom. Is that accurate?
Yeah, because the rest of the house was full of boxes.
Okay.
So I unpacked his room first.
I mean, there's a reason we provided these sort of on the late side, and that's because you just basically removed
Yeah,
it.
I just, sorry.
Okay.
So sorry.
Judge, I'm going to reference exhibit number L, like Larry. Do you recognize exhibit L?
Yeah.
What, just to
Hold on.
tell the judge what the exhibit is?
Hold on, counsel. I believe L is the exhibit that my department contacted you about. I still have not received a copy of proposed exhibit L, despite their request.
Oh, I sent them that just prior to us getting started, Judge. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you don't have L.
What do you mean? Just getting started as in this afternoon or this morning?
Oh, this morning.
So they indicated to me they still don't have that from you, like
Oh.
that you resent the things they already had, but not L.
Oh, maybe they sent me an email that I've been doing this. Let me see.
Mr. Tony,
What-
Mr. Hoffland, do you have proposed exhibit L?
This is Brad Hoffland, yes.
Mr. Tony.
Yes, Judge.
Counsel, any objections to proposed exhibit L?
This is Brad Hoffland now.
Mr. Tony. Counsel, it'll be admitted. Why don't you get that over to me at the next break? Continue.
Okay, yes, Your Honor. For now, I thought for now, can I just show you the picture? I mean, it's just a picture of his room. Can I show it to you, see if we could see it?
Counsel, they already admitted, they already stipulated to it being admitted, so
Okay.
as long as you can ask
Oh,
him to
okay. Oh.
describe his room, that's sufficient for me.
Okay, I'm going to ask a couple of questions about the room. We have 3 pages. We have 3 pages to the exhibit. Haley, does he have his own bed in his room?
Yeah, Tempur-Pedic twin.
Okay. Does he have his own closet space?
Oh yeah, giant closet, bigger than mine.
Is there clothes in the closet already?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have toys in the room?
Oh, plenty, all brand new.
Okay. Is there a television in the room?
Yep, brand new, 43-inch smart TV.
Okay. And are you getting ready for his educational needs?
Yeah, I have an all-in-one HP desktop and a brand new desk. It's an L-shaped desk, so he can learn on one side and do his paperwork on the other. I've got a cabinet for all his school supplies on the cabinet and on the side of the desk. A lot of storage space for that. I've got school supplies and all kinds of stuff.
Okay. So when you say brand new HP, you're talking about a laptop computer?
No, this is an all-in-one desktop.
Oh, an all-in-one. It's a desktop all-in-one.
Yes.
Okay, I see. What about your internet service at the apartment?
I have high-speed internet with Cox cable.
Okay. So, Kaylee, before this move, where did you live?
At 912 Bishop Drive, apartment 4.
How long were you there?
3 years.
Were you there continuously for 3 years?
Yes.
Okay. And while you were there, was there any roommates?
No.
All right. And you said at the present place there is no roommates?
No.
I'm sorry, Judge, I'm just going through my questions. Mr. Hoffman had gone through quite a few of them already, and so I don't want to repeat and go through the same stuff. I need a moment just to gather where I'm at.
No problem.
Oh, I'd like to ask Katie how she intends to be able to pay her rent and expenses moving forward.
Okay. So, as of, does it say my PC battery is low?
Yeah, the computer just said the battery's low.
Can you give me 1 moment? Judge, please excuse me before I can plug my laptop in. Your Honor?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Thank you.
Herein lies some of the challenges of doing it like this, Judge. Where does that go?
Right there. Thank you, great.
Yes, you're welcome.
Sorry about the inconvenience. We're all set.
No problem.
Okay.
Ask the question again.
Thank you. I asked Kay if she's preparing, what's she planning to do for work? Let's keep it simple. Do you have a job?
Yes.
And tell the judge what that is.
So I am a registered travel agent with Archer Travel. I have a website that I've been working on for a few months right now. I attend seminars weekly, sometimes daily. I have a huge event coming up in May. I'm basically I just got out of what I call the academy. Basically, I was learning for a couple months, so I just activated my website yesterday, so I can start acquiring income soon.
So, do you have some form of a certification to be a travel agent?
Yes, I have a travel agent certificate from Archer Travel.
When did you start preparing and training for that?
January of this year.
Okay. Let me regress a little bit because you were dancing. When did you stop the business of being an actual dancer?
In 2017, October 2017, I had a discussion because I had with the club I was working with, Treasures.
What was that discussion?
I had found out about promoters and marketers on the Strip that made really good money promoting and marketing the club. So I had spoke with Treasures, my manager, and asked about the promoting job, and they actually agreed, but there was one stipulation: you cannot dance and be a promoter at the same time, and I was okay with that. So I was a promoter up until COVID hit, and I made really good money, $70 a person for 8 limo rides and 20 buses.
Hold on, I want you to be a little more specific for everybody that's listening, in case they don't really know what you mean by being a promoter. What was your actual function and duty, and what were you doing as a promoter?
Okay, so as a promoter, you market the club to potential clients and provide instructions for transportation and bottle services. And I did not just work only with the strip club. I also eventually expanded my network to every single nightclub and gentleman's club in Las Vegas and multiple transportation companies as well, so it was multi-marketing.
Okay, so you were promoting the club. I mean, where were you doing this? You were standing down on the Strip handing out cards, essentially?
Yeah, on the Strip, on social media, anywhere that it's busy, Fremont Street. Yeah.
And you try to hustle people to go to the club.
Yeah, I basically hand out my phone number, give them a few details, and tell them to give me a call. If they're ready to go, then I'll call a limo, party bus, transportation to the club.
Okay, how long did you do that?
3 years. 4 years.
As a promoter, when did you start?
3 years, until COVID hit. So 2.5?
Okay, so you did it until COVID hit?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
The industry was gone. The clubs are all closed. So I got put on unemployment.
Okay. So you supported yourself after COVID hit like so many others in society? You got unemployment?
Well, actually, I'm sorry. Excuse me for that. I was working at a call center selling vacations over the phone. I worked daytime and I worked nighttime. So for 6 months, I was doing the call center vacations over the phone during the day and promoting at night. And then when COVID hit, I lost both.
Okay. So COVID hit, you lost jobs and you collected unemployment.
Correct.
Now you are getting ready to start a business website in the travel industry.
Correct. And I also have a second interview with Enterprise Rent-A-Car this week. I'm hoping I get that job as well, and that would be full-time.
Well, let's first talk about the travel agent business. You have a website, but how do you make money?
Okay, so I actually pay $80 a month to Archer Travel to drive traffic to my website, and also for training, and I have a sponsor as well. And a sponsor, what I mean is somebody I can reach out to at any moment for help with my travel company.
Well, if anybody were wanting to take a look at your website, I mean, is it live?
Yeah, you can go to evotravelagent.com/Bella Vita Travel.
Okay. And people can book travel directly through your website?
Yes.
Okay. Did they also book it after communicating with you? Like, is there some form of communication with potential clients?
Yeah, so how the process works is they would call me, tell me what they're interested in, I qualify them, and I get back to them within a timely manner on quotes.
Okay. You said you had one interview already with Enterprise Rent-A-Car?
Yes, and that went well, and they asked me to do a second one tomorrow,
What time is that tomorrow?
8:30 in the morning.
Do you have any idea what they would have you doing for them?
So it's remote, customer service, work from home, and basically callers call us with issues that they have, and we try to resolve them.
Okay.
And that is remote, work from home.
Do you understand how Jaden attends school?
Yes,
What's your understanding of that?
it's remote learning from like 7 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon or something like that. I couldn't get the exact hours out of her or him.
Okay, when you say out of her, him, who are you referencing?
Not Ting and Jaden.
Okay, have you asked?
Yes.
What specifically did you say?
I asked about his full schedule, and I only got bits and pieces of it.
Okay. You do understand that there's an application that the school district puts out that you could try to follow?
Yes, I actually have that app downloaded on my phone, the Infinite Campus Parent.
Are you able to access any information about Jaden?
No.
Why not?
I've asked for the login information and instructions, and she said that no.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Prior to CPS taking Jaden in, whatever it was, September 2014, had CPS ever removed Jaden from you before
No.
that?
No.
You said when Jaden was with your father, he used to call you mom. Is that still the case?
No.
Do you have any idea why?
He calls me Kaylee. And I think he thinks it upsets Ting, so he doesn't do it.
What makes you think that?
Because when I ask him, he just says, "Oh, sorry."
About the hugs and the emotional bond that you guys used to have.
When I would show up to the house, he would say, "Oh, mommy, yay!" and he'd be happy. Now it's just almost heartbreaking because I'll show up to the visit and I'd like to demonstrate. Can I demonstrate it?
With me?
No.
Well,
Okay. So he would, he seems happy to be there, but not jumping for joy like he used to. And just awkward, I guess. I think because it's supervised, because once that hour is up, we're giggling, we're laughing, we're having a great visit, and then it's time to go. So, take some time.
do you like the 1 hour, 2 hour visit?
No.
You mean you just don't like to visit, or you just don't like the 1 or 2 hour visits?
I love to visit, but the time frame is not so good, and the recommended places.
Okay. So summing this up, basically, can you provide shelter for Jaden?
Yes.
Can you provide food for Jaden?
Yes.
Is there already food in your refrigerator?
Yes.
You have an understanding of what he likes to eat?
Somewhat.
Okay. Has there ever been an incident that Jaden was injured while in your care?
No.
You're set up to take over his education?
Yes.
You think that you completed your case plan?
Yes. For the most part.
There's some discussion about this case plan, or maybe we call it the 550 closure. Why didn't you get on that right off the bat?
I was never advised to.
Did anybody explain to you what it meant when they closed the case?
No.
So ultimately, you got something about the case plan. Is that correct?
I didn't, so let's say when court was over, I had the case plan in my records, but I didn't know that was the most vital piece of record that I needed to stay focused on. I had it, but I didn't know what it was. I had very minimal communication with my caseworker.
Okay. I want to reference and go through the exhibits. There was an allegation that you don't ever send Ting any money to support Jaden. What's your testimony about providing some sort of spending your own money on Jaden? When you would go on the visits, how were they paid for?
Yeah, most of the time when we go on a visit, it's somewhere extravagant and expensive. So I spend roughly anywhere from $40 to $100 every visit. And I also bring either whatever I've bought during that week or those 2 weeks or however gone I was long or we didn't have a visit. I always buy him things as if he's still living with me. Snacks, toys, clothes. Every visit he gets a new gift, a new present. Coloring books, crayons, shirts, socks. And I was nobody ever asked me for money or some kind of a child support plan or oh, hey, Jaden needs new clothes. Can you get new clothes? I just did that on my own. And it was never a discussion between me and Rex or me and Ting. Or even a problem until now. And I do give him money on certain occasions, you know. If he asks me for money, I'll throw him $10-20, you know. I mean, if he needs clothes, I'll go buy them. Maybe it's this, that, I'll go buy it.
Can you reference Exhibit C as in Charlie?
Yes, this is pictures of me and my family and me and my son.
Okay. Is there an age range in here?
Oh, yeah. So the bottom right-hand corner was the first picture ever taken with me and him when he was born. I didn't really have time for the chronological order. So the top left is most recent. And I think it goes down to as he gets younger, down towards the bottom, but there might be a few that are he's a little bit older. And but these are the most recent ones, the top three, or the top four, the one next to me and my family, and then the bottom half are from him growing up. These are all with my dad. You can see my dad's RV in the back of this one. This was with during a visit.
Okay, so I want to ask you.
Always happy.
You say he's always happy?
Yeah.
What about these pictures make you think that it would demonstrate that he's always happy?
Well, look, he's hugging me. He's smiling. He has his toys. He reacts to me.
Okay.
Our faces together.
What's Exhibit D? This is D as in David or D as in dog, Judge?
This is my award from LRS for alcohol and drug class completion.
What's LRS?
LRS is it's a drug treatment center.
Okay.
Drug and alcohol.
Okay. Were you told to complete more than this many classes?
Yes.
Did you do so?
Yes.
How many did you ultimately complete?
26 out of 26.
Okay. What is exhibit number E? Looks like also from LRS.
This is impulse control / anger management certificate of completion.
Okay. How about exhibit number F?
Exhibit F is just basically an overview of all the classes and evaluations that I attended at LRS and my bill.
Okay. Does this exhibit show that you completed 26 classes? Because the last two exhibits just a certificate, but it was not an end certificate.
Yeah, if you can reference on your case summary, it does say 26 of 26 attended towards alcohol and drug class for this case.
Okay. So it was 26 of 26. You didn't miss any.
Nope.
Okay. The evaluation, that was one attended of one, right?
Correct.
And the same with the impulse control? You attended that?
Correct.
But meanwhile, it says up top that it was incomplete. Do you understand why it's incomplete?
Yeah, I didn't pay the full balance.
Okay, so the incomplete is because that you still owe them some money.
Yeah.
Okay. This now is Exhibit G, as in gorilla. What is this?
This is my certificate of completion for the COPE class, which was very, I learned a lot from that, really a lot from that class, the separating parents class, and I completed that on December 2nd of 2020.
What are few of the things that you learned? I know in the J case that would be a question that the judge may ask you. Well, tell me about what you learned.
Okay, so I learned a lot about children's emotions and how to not be a conflicting parent.
Okay, how's that?
Well, dealing with children's emotions, it's better to be understanding as to where prior to that I probably just was, just assuming that you could say this and they're going to do it, but it's a lot more than that. You have to understand the emotions and understand the coping mechanisms to deal with the emotions and situations. And then how to not be a conflicting parent. You just don't no arguing with the other parent in front of the children, no badmouthing the other parent around the children, and just no talking bad about the other parent around the child. Always keep a positive outlook on each parent.
Are these some of the things that you allege or accuse Ting of doing regarding you?
Yes.
Okay. You think she would benefit from a COPE class?
Yes.
And but that doesn't take away the fact, because you said you've already appreciate the fact that she has been taking care of your son during this period of time?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What's exhibit number, lettered H? We're now on H like happy.
This is my certificate for completion of 8 lessons at the Open Path Mental Health Education certificate of completion from the Parenting 101 course.
Okay.
Which I also am signed up for another one, and that starts on March 23rd, and it's for his age group. So children ages 8 through 13, I think it's like, I don't know, I told her he's, going to be 9, he's in the 3rd grade, so she put me in that age group parenting class just to touch up a little better,
Let's take a look at exhibit I, as in igloo. Oh, wait a second. Let me see what this is.
This is just the consent, giving Bradley permission to get my info.
Okay, well, let the exhibit I, tell the court what exhibit I was.
Okay, exhibit I is a consent release of information for Mr. Hofflin and Tom Stack's office to gain access to my treatment recommendations, laboratory results, treatment plans, progress reports, and so on and so forth.
Okay, so you were asked to provide this to their office?
Yes.
And you provided it voluntarily without a problem, in your opinion?
Yes, on January 20th of 2021.
Is Exhibit J a case plan from your case?
Yes.
And you think that, in your opinion, you've completed most of this?
I completed everything except for the part where it says maintain contact with CPS and have your house inspected by CPS, which I am ready to have done.
Except you haven't had done because there's no open case, there's no CPS?
Yeah, I tried calling and they said you have to have an open case, so.
Okay, if you turn through some of these pages, you're able to recognize what they were asking for you to do and what you have done, and you believe you completed all of it based upon the things that you've provided to the court already.
Right, and like things like with this, it has like my section of the case plan completed, except for that one part where they come in and examine your house. The child part, I can't possibly complete because I don't have my child. So there's that. In my recollection, the part that was required for me to get done is completed.
Okay.
And I also wasn't given this case plan. I've been waiting for it from records since December. Actually, since before then, I've multiple times I've emailed records trying to get. They've been so backed up. I did not even get my hands on this case plan until the beginning of January, and I got started on it as soon as possible. Got the evaluation booked as soon as possible. Started my classes as soon as possible. Didn't miss a class. Everything I should have done 4 years ago that I'm stupid enough not to. Okay?
What is, we went through L and M, we went through K, L. Judge, we don't have yet admitted Exhibit M. M is in Michael, so I'm going to ask Kaylee to identify that exhibit.
That is a release form for my attorney. Provide information.
Well, just the
Oh, I'm
release
sorry.
form?
No. Excuse me, Your Honor. I just seen the my attorney's law office on the top here and consent. I was proofreading. Okay, so it is my discharge report to referral source, and this does state on the bottom attendance compliant. Number of sessions.
Well, hold on. We just need to identify it and admit it before you read from it. It's the discharge report, Your Honor. We'd like to move to enter Exhibit M into evidence.
Mr. Hoffland, any objections?
It was received just, I believe, a couple of days ago, and there's been an objection lodged by Mr. Tody's office in regards to authenticity.
Mr. Tody.
How is it?
Yeah, you might review, but I don't have a problem with it. Can you hear me, Judge?
Yeah, you said you don't have a problem with it?
I don't, Judge.
All right, it'll be admitted. Continue, counsel.
Haley, can you tell the judge, if when she looks at this report, what's significant on the report?
Okay, I completed the drug and mental assessments that were required in my case plan. I was recommended to a recovery class, and they recommended 6 recovery classes and 1 individual session. And it does say that I was compliant with those. My attendance was compliant. I completed all of the classes, and that client's prognosis, good. And it was successfully, I was successfully discharged. And it does say that my primary diagnosis was mild cocaine use in sustained remission, and it was successful.
When was this completion?
This was completed. My last class was attended on 3/3/21.
Okay, and that's right there on the first page, middle of the page, on the right-hand side, under client ID, and under that says last date of attendance, 3/3/21.
Correct.
Okay, so it was provided sort of late because it was just acquired late is the reason.
I couldn't have possibly got it done any quicker. The classes are only once a week.
Okay. Judge, I just need a moment to gather my thoughts to see if there's any final questions. I need to look through some of my stuff, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Yep, I know that. I don't think I want to even do it. Judge, I'm going to pass the witness, but might I ask if I could use a minute to run to the restroom?
I was just going to ask everyone, because now it's 12:25, about scheduling. Mr. Tody, I would expect that you would have questions for this witness. I would expect Mr. Hoffland to have some redirect. Counsel, would you like to take a half-hour break or a 45-minute break now and come back?
Judge, I've got a settlement conference starting at 1.
That's right. Okay.
And I have a hearing at 1:30 as well.
All right, so let's do this. Let's take a 5-minute break right now, and let's come back and see Mr. Tody, because he wants a bathroom break. So let's just take a short break, and then we'll come back and finish up with your redirect or your cross. Is that okay?
Judge, I apologize. Let me make myself very clear. I have to be at the Phoenix Center at 1 o'clock, or the Phoenix Building. It's an in-person settlement conference.
Oh, so you need to leave now. So, counsel, let's talk
Unfortunately,
about.
yes.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood what you said. Let's talk about rescheduling. Ask you to look at your calendars. Let me ask you now, Mr. Tody, Mr. Hoffland, and Mr. Zernich, we have gone a half day previously and then another half day. Just when I would anticipate that this would take a half day, I don't know. What is your preference for setting it again for another half day?
I would suggest a half day, Judge. I can't control the other two attorneys in the case, obviously, but I think the only thing that's left is my client after the redirect, and I would imagine it can be done in a half day.
Mr. Hoffland, do you have much for Kaylee on your redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so April
May I ask,
6th at 1 o'clock.
Which day?
April
Oh, I have a
6th.
custody hearing that day.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry, did you say April 6th?
Yes,
Your
1
schedule.
o'clock.
I have a hearing, which is a return from a judgment hearing.
My court's at 11?
Department R, in person at 1:30.
April 7th at 1 o'clock.
I'm available on that date.
Mr. Tody, which days
I can
were,
report.
okay. Mr. Zernich, can you do Wednesday, April 7th at 1 o'clock?
I have a guardianship hearing at 2:30 in Department F. It should go quick.
Is that just a citation hearing, counsel?
No, it's a status check on an investigation, financial issue.
Is it for the return of the investigation from the investigator?
Yes.
Let's set it for, can we start at noon on the 7th? Can we start a little earlier on the 7th and then take a break when Mr. Zernich has to go next door?
So noon on April 7th, that's fine with me, Judge.
Mr. Hoffland, is that okay?
It works for me, but my client's telling me that she's getting vaccinated on that date in California.
Oh,
It's my second vaccine.
It's her second dose.
well,
It's at 4 o'clock on that date.
I have to leave at 2:30.
She has to leave at 2:30.
you think we could be done by 2:30? I mean, the problem is that she wouldn't be able to participate after that. Can't be on her.
Your Honor, I presented for Belinda. I have very few questions. So essentially, I've wrapped my case up, unless I just come up with a few questions after hearing her testimony.
We start at 11 on the 7th.
I'm
I have
good.
Sorry, Judge. I have 2 hearings at 10 o'clock.
Okay. So let's start at noon on the 7th. Noon, Wednesday, April 7th, with the understanding Mr. Zernich has to jump out for a hearing, and that we have to be wrapped up by 2:30. Counsel, those exhibits that have been admitted, I have reviewed. On the 7th, I will be intimately familiar with all of them. I don't need anybody to review any exhibits or highlight them or bring them to my attention on the 7th, if that helps you move quickly through the testimony.
Judge, I have a question and a request, and that, thank you, that helps us.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. Toti, in regards to your cross-examination of Kaylee, how much time do you anticipate?
I'd be shocked if it went more than 15 minutes.
Thank you. And then from now until the date of the hearing, the temporary guardianship hasn't been extended. We're just concerned about if we get an order extending the temporary guardianship up until the hearing date on the 7th.
Any objection?
No, Judge.
No, Judge.
The temporary will be extended to the 7th.
May we just submit the order without council signature? Are you guys fine with that?
That's fine.
Thank you.
Anything else from today, council?
No,
No,
Judge.
thank
We'll see
you.
you all on the 7th. I'll sign off on that order today. Thank you, council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.